Good morning. Today we are going to look at independent and dependent clauses. So yesterday you worked on identifying a subject and a verb. So now that we've mastered that, and this is just a quick, go over of this. So if I said John went to the store, I need to find my action. So I'm going to highlight that. So went is my action. So then I ask the question, who went or what went? And the answer is John. So John went to the store. So John's my subject. Now I know that this is an independent clause because it has a subject and a verb. So that's my rationale. I know that something is an independent clause if it has a subject and a verb tied to it. Like Ms. Solkovitz teaches the class. It's independent. I have my subject, Mrs. Solkovitz teaches is my action. Now, things get a little wonky when we start going into dependent clauses. I thought this would be easier today to read than my whiteboard yesterday, so hopefully this helps. So dependent clauses are missing normally the subject, but almost always will have what's called a subordinating conjunction. So today, one of the questions I asked for you is, what are examples of subordinating conjunctions? So I'm going to give you a couple that might help, and I'm going to show you the examples of them so that way we can identify what independent clauses versus dependent clauses. Okay, so an example could be, and I'm just going to continuously use the phrase John went to the store. So subordinating conjunctions, and I'm just going to bring that down so you can see it. Examples. So one, after. So after John went to the store, see how you're left needing to know more information? So then what happens? After is like my, well, what's going on? Like, it's dependent upon another sentence being there. So if I would say, after John went to the store, he had ice cream. Then you have one dependent clause. I'm going to highlight that in, let's go teal. And then one independent, and let's leave that in yellow. So just to help, let's put our dependent clauses in teal. And then we'll put our independent clauses in yellow. So my dependent clauses are dependent upon something else. So even if, for like another example, could be before John went to the store. So there's always going to be a comma at the end of that clause that's dependent. So before John went to the store, I need to know what else is going to happen. So before John went to the store, what? He went to the bank. That could work. So I'm going to highlight that in my teal because it's going to be dependent. And then he went to the bank is independent because I have my subject and then I have my verb, and it all makes sense together. So it's not dependent upon something else. So subordinating conjunctions, I'm going to try to give you, I have a list here of a few more that I want to give you. And I'm just going to list them out. So while is an example of one. Until, though, if, well, I have before, so I don't need to give you that one. As, although. So all of those are examples of subordinating conjunctions. I would encourage you to go and find more examples. I actually have in my classroom a list of them up on the wall. So if you were here today, you can see that. Tomorrow they'll look for it, or my virtual friends, whenever you're back with me, take a look for that. So subordinating conjunctions, I can always identify if it's going to be a dependent clause by just looking at that. So like in this, although she went to the store, she still needed groceries. So I can see automatically there is a subordinating conjunction. So if I see that, I know that I'm going to have a dependent clause, and then I have to find where my independent clause is. So I have my subordinating conjunction, which means that this clause will be a dependent clause. So again, just remember, if I have a subordinating conjunction, that means that I have a dependent clause. My subordinating conjunction has to start at the beginning of that clause. I can flip these around. She still needed groceries. Whoa, what did I just do? Although she went to the store. And then this is still a dependent clause. I still have my subordinating conjunction, and this time it's starting this next clause. So it's at the beginning of my clause, and it's introducing your topic. Hopefully, subordinating conjunctions will make more sense as we use them. I think they become way more easy as we use them. I'm going to give you 2 more examples, and then your task is going to be to go provide me a list of as many subordinating conjunctions as you can find and tell me why we use them. So the answer is to start a dependent clause. It helps transition thoughts. The whole reason, too, that we use independent and dependent clauses is to make our sentences more interesting. So instead of saying, she still needed groceries, she went to the store. I'm trying to make them more interesting by providing a dependent with an independent clause. This is sentence variety, friends. And sentence variety is the one thing that will change the game of your writing. And we are going to look at that today in terms of your snapshots, trying to add them together. So I'm going to show you just a few different examples. I have a couple written here. When I met Susan, her eyes were red because she had been crying. Now, this is a complicated one because I have multiple sentences or multiple clauses in here. I see automatically a subordinating conjunction. When. So this is my subordinator. When I met Susan. Dependent clause. Her eyes were red. So were is my verb. Let's see, I'm going to highlight that in pink. And then her eyes is the subject. So I know that this clause right here, her eyes were red, is my independent clause. But then I see a subordinating conjunction again. So I'm going to bold that. Maybe I'll italicize those. That'll help. Because she had been crying is going to be a dependent clause as well. So it is possible that you will have multiple dependent clauses with one independent clause. It's possible you might have 2 independent clauses with a dependent. And that's what makes our different sentence types that we will get into later. But what I need for you to remember is that a subordinating conjunction starts my dependent clause. Like, while the mortals below cowered in fear, the gods thundered in the heavens. I have my subordinating conjunction here. While the mortals below cowered in fear. So that's my dependent clause because I have my subordinating conjunction while. And then this one starts my independent clause. The gods thundered in the heavens. So which one's my verb? Thundered. So thundered is the one that lets me know, okay, that's got to be my verb. So who thundered? The gods thundered. So that's my subject. This one is all independent. Okay, so your task right now in terms of this question is to give me as many subordinating conjunctions as you can. I think there's like 50. You don't have to give me all 50. I try to give like 10. So because we want to remember them. And then why do we use dependent clauses or subordinating conjunctions? We use subordinating conjunctions to start our dependent clauses, to make our sentences more interesting, to use sentence variety. Those are all correct answers. Your next step is to go to my snapshot video and watch that. And then I'm going to stop talking now so you don't have more to watch. So I will talk to you in the next video.